Hello students, welcome to AcadShala.
Today we are going to do assertion reasoning questions from Chapter 1, Chemical Reactions and Equations, Part 2.
But before starting today's session, it would be great if you like this video, share this video and subscribe to our channel AcadShala. This gives us a lot of motivation to keep creating these kind of videos for you all.
In these questions, the candidate is provided with a statement. This statement presents an opinion, a fact, or a comment. It is called as the assertion. The other statement is the reason. These two statements form a pair of reason and assertion statements. There may or may not be a relation between the two. The most common misconception is that the assertion is a statement and the reason has to be a defending statement or the cause for it. So now let's get started with the first question. That is, assertion says, magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white light, white flame. Reason says, magnesium ribbon undergoes physical change on burning and melts. And the four options are given. Now we also know about the equation that what happens when magnesium burns in air. So let us see, let us recall that do I remember that? So let us write the equation first. That is Mg burns in air, that is oxygen. Yes, I have learned it. And this gives MgO. Yes. And I also know that this was first silvery white metal. This magnesium was in the beginning silvery white metal. And then in the product side when it formed MgO, that is magnesium oxide, became white powder. Now let us see the first equation says, the first assertion says, magnesium ribbon burns with the dazzling white flame. Yes, we are also seeing a picture over here where it is showing that it burns with a white dazzling light. Yes, it is true. I have learned it also. So I will write it in the corner, true over here, just for my reference so that I conclude the answer afterwards. After that, the second reason says that magnesium ribbon undergoes physical change on burning and melts. Now, I have to think it over what this statement is saying. I know that when magnesium ribbon is burnt in air, it burns with a white dazzling light and a white colored magnesium oxide is formed as ash. And I have also written the equation over here. Now, in this reaction, magnesium combines with oxygen to form magnesium oxide and the properties of magnesium oxide are entirely different from the reactants, that is magnesium and oxygen. So this is the chemical reaction. That means magnesium oxide cannot go back and form magnesium ribbon again. So according to this statement, it is not a physical change. It is a chemical change because new substance is formed. So I will write in the corner that my reason is false. Now, as I told you in the previous video also that first you will give importance to the statements individually and then you will go for it whether the reason is the correct means statement for assertion or not. That is the second thing you have to do it. Now, we have written that the first is true and the second is false. Now, according to this, I will see which option I should choose. So, I will read the option very, very carefully and then I will go for it. That option I think C is suitable for this statement. So that means A is true and R is false. So option C is suitable for this question. This is all over. So we have to take in mind that what I have done, what I have learned, and accordingly, please go for the options. Let us go for the next one. The assertion says, the reaction MnO2 plus HCl gives you MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2, and this is an example of redox reaction. Okay. Reason, in this reaction HCl is reduced to Cl2 whereas MnO2 is oxidized to MnCl2. Okay, this statement is given. Now before going for this question, I should know, but what I should know? I should know regarding redox reaction which we did in our previous video. I should know that what is reduction, what is oxidation in terms of oxygen, in terms of hydrogen also. So this thing I have to keep it in mind before solving this question, which is really very important for me. Now if I see in this reaction, that is HCl, if I see over here that this HCl is oxidized to Cl2. Let me write the equation first. Once again, let me write it and then we will go for it. So that means MnO2 plus HCl gives MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Okay. Now let's see what the statement is saying. In this reaction, HCl is reduced to Cl2 whereas MnO2 is oxidized to MnCl2. Okay, we have read both the statements. Now first let me examine the equation, what it is saying according to me. So that means this MnO2, that means it is going, I will write it over here like this, and this HCl is going towards this. Now, I have to see what is happening actually. Now, in this reaction, I'm seeing this HCl is oxidized to Cl2, whereas MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. I know this. So, I should know what is happening actually. So, that means this MnO2 is leaving what? It is losing what? Oxygen. Now I see according to this redox reaction that in terms of oxygen, what is happening? That there is a removal of oxygen. So that means over here I am seeing MnO2 is changing into MnCl2. That means oxygen is lost. Oxygen is removed. So it is reduction. And over here I am seeing HCl, that is hydrogen is lost. If there is a removal of hydrogen, so oxidation is taking place. So I have written over here reduction and oxidation. So that means from this example, we can say that if a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen, see, it is losing hydrogen. So if a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a reaction, it is oxidized. And if a substance loses oxygen or gains hydrogen, so it is what is happening? That during a reaction, it is reduced. So you have to keep it in mind in terms of oxygen and hydrogen, which plays a very vital role in solving these kind of questions based on redox reaction. So after knowing everything about this equation, the first equation we find it is coming out to be true. So I will write it in a corner that it is coming out to be true. Now the second statement says in this reaction HCl is reduced to Cl2 whereas MnO2 is oxidized to MnCl2. Okay, now after knowing everything, this statement I think it is coming absolutely opposite to what we know it. Yes or no? So it is coming opposite that what we know it. So that means this reason is false. So that means this is a false reason and I will write it over here in a corner. It is a false reason. Now I will go for the options over here that which option I should choose. So according to these statements, the option is coming out to be C. That is A is true but R is false. So I will choose this C option. So I have solved the question based on assertion reasoning. Again, I'm saying children, always go for the individual statements first. Individually it is true or false. After that, you see that the reason is correct for assertion or it is not correct for assertion. Then after that, go for the, seeing the correct options among the four. So let us go for the next one. The question says, a reaction of copper oxide with hydrogen serves as reducing agent. Okay. A substance that gains oxygen in a chemical reaction is a reducing agent. Okay. So let us see again, we should know redox reaction in terms of oxygen and hydrogen. This always, whenever this type of question comes, children, always write in a right hand side corner or any corner that about the redox reaction in terms of oxygen and hydrogen. Why I'm repeating on and on? Because it is really very important. Otherwise, you will go for a wrong option because every, thing should be ready in your hands. Okay, let us frame out the equation according to these statements. So it says, okay, a reaction of copper oxide, okay, with hydrogen. So let us write copper oxide with, that is hydrogen. Okay, let us see what does it form as a product. Let me write it. So it forms, and I've learned it. That is why I know it, because I know the previous, because I am knowing about the previous knowledge, and according to that, I'm able to frame out the equation. Okay, this is formed. And I also know about the color also of this. Yes, the color of this is black. I am aware about it. So please write down whatever you know it. And this comes out to be brown. I know this. So let me write it. Whatever I know, I should know it. Okay, after writing this, I want to see in this equation actually what is happening. Okay, this hydrogen is converting into H2O. So what is actually happening? Okay, addition of oxygen is happening because this is in terms of oxygen. Okay, so I write it over here, oxidation. So I am gaining my knowledge over here according to the reaction which I have written. Okay, I have written this also. Now I see this copper oxide is getting converted into copper. Okay, let me write it like this. So that means loss of oxygen, removal of oxygen. Okay, according to me, it is said to be reduction. So I have gained knowledge about this equation which I have written for my reference to solve the question. Okay, this is all done. And now the question says that a reaction of copper oxide with hydrogen just serves as a reducing agent. Okay, serves as a reducing agent. Okay, yes, it is serving as a reducing agent. Absolutely correct. So that means the first statement is coming out to be true. So I am writing true over here in the corner. Are you getting my point, children? So please take a note that whatever I'm telling you, it should be done like this. Okay, after this, the statement says a substance that gains oxygen in a chemical reaction is the reducing agent. Okay, a substance that gains oxygen. Okay, this is a substance which is gaining oxygen in a chemical reaction. Yes, and it is said to be a reducing agent. Okay, yes, it is said to be a reducing agent. Okay, so this is also correct. So let me write this also as correct and true also. So that means we have come to know that if a substance gains oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized, which we have seen it. If a substance loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. Wonderful. So that means during this reaction, this copper 2 oxide is losing oxygen and is being reduced. The hydrogen is gaining oxygen and it is getting oxidized. In other words, what is happening? One reactant gets oxidized while the other gets reduced during a reaction. Such reactions are known as we all know it, oxidation reduction reactions or redox reactions. So about this statement, we know everything about it. We have a knowledge about everything. Now let us go for the last thing. What we have to do is, let us see that A is true and R is also true. So which option we should also see? And of course, it is also that means correct reason for the assertion even. Yes, this also found out. Yes, absolutely correct. So what I will do? I will see the options. I will read the options very, very carefully. And then I will choose the option. Okay, let me read this. Okay, let me read this and this. According to me, the option A is coming out to be true. Why? Because both A and R are true, but R is the correct explanation of the assertion. This is the way you have to go for the assertion reasoning questions, children. Please, you should have full-fledged knowledge, that is prior knowledge of the concept, and then put your concept, put your knowledge in the concept, and then go for the question regarding assertion reasoning questions. So this is all for today, children. Please keep on practicing these type of questions on and on. Try to explain yourself the questions and then come for the final answer. This is the way to deal with the assertion reasoning questions, please. Okay, children, I wind up the session today. So take care. Have a nice day. God bless you, children. Bye-bye.